We all dream of a rich life. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that wealth equals luxury, excess, and constant acquisition. But what if the key to true richness isn't found in extravagance or constant consumption? What if it lies in the psychology of frugal living, finding fulfillment not in what we accumulate, but in the mindful choices we make each day? In today's world, we often hear the phrase, "live rich," equating to living lavishly, with a life full of expensive material possessions and indulgent experiences. However, true richness isn't necessarily defined by what we own, but by how we live and how consciously we choose to direct our resources, time, money, energy, toward what aligns with our true purpose and values. Through the practice of frugality, we can tap into a deeper form of wealth, one that is rich in fulfillment, meaningful experiences, and personal satisfaction. Frugality is not deprivation, but intentionality. Frugality isn't about deprivation or denial. It's about creating a life where every decision is intentional, where we choose to live more with less, and where we prioritize what truly brings us joy. It's not about pinching pennies or sacrificing comfort. It's about making empowered choices that give us control over our finances, our time, and even our mental well-being. By adopting this mindset, we can build a life that is not just rich in wealth, but rich in experiences, relationships, and happiness. When we approach life with intentionality, we focus on making decisions that align with our deeper desires rather than reacting to the surface-level demands of modern consumer culture. This process helps us shed the weight of unnecessary possessions and obligations, allowing us to create space for what truly matters. Every purchase, every interaction, every decision becomes an opportunity to define what truly enhances our lives, making our wealth deeper and more profound than the superficial accumulation of things. The psychology of frugality. Frugal living begins with understanding the psychology behind it. It's not just about saving money or cutting back on luxuries. It's about shifting our mindset entirely. We live in a world that constantly tells us to consume more, to acquire more, to keep up with the latest trends. Advertisements, social media, and societal norms encourage us to define success by what we have rather than who we are or how we live. The psychology of frugality is rooted in rejecting the compulsion to seek validation through acquisition. It's about recognizing the satisfaction we can find in appreciating what we already own. It is liberating to resist the societal pressure to continuously crave more and more. Imagine the joy of looking around and truly appreciating the things you already have, seeing their worth not in terms of their cost, but in how they serve your life and contribute to your happiness. Living with purpose. Intentionality over accumulation. At its core, frugality is about intentionality. It's about recognizing the difference between what we need and what we merely want. It's about identifying what truly brings value to our lives and making deliberate decisions to invest our time, energy, and money in those areas. It's also about saying no to things that don't align with our values, instead of being swept up in the whirlwind of consumerism. In a world of constant distraction and societal pressures to buy and acquire, frugality provides a counterbalance, a chance to pause, reflect, and prioritize. Whether it's saying no to the latest fashion trend, resisting the urge for a bigger house, or avoiding the clutter of unimportant purchases, living intentionally helps us create a life that is truly rich in purpose. Each action, no matter how small, becomes a reflection of our priorities. Breaking free from materialism. One of the most profound truths about frugal living is that many of us have been conditioned to equate wealth with material possessions and high social status. The psychology of frugal living flips this notion on its head. By breaking free from the need for external validation, we can start to focus on the things that genuinely make us happy. When we stop relying on possessions or status symbols to measure our worth, we begin to realize that true wealth isn't found in what we own. It's found in the moments we share, the experiences we create, and the relationships we cultivate. This mindset shift is truly transformative. Rather than measuring success by what we accumulate, we start to measure it by the richness of our relationships, the depth of our personal growth, and the meaningfulness of our lives. True wealth is not in having more, it is in appreciating what we already have and investing in what truly nurtures our hearts. The richness of experience. When we focus on experiences, whether it's spending quality time with loved ones, exploring our passions, or growing as individuals, life becomes infinitely richer. The memories we create and the growth we experience are priceless. The richness of life lies not in the stuff we accumulate, but in the quality of the moments we experience and the connections we nurture. Experiences often hold more lasting value than possessions. A shared laughter with family, an adventure with friends, a quiet moment of reflection in nature. These are the moments that define a truly rich life. When we embrace frugality, we open ourselves up to these experiences, allowing them to enrich our lives far more than material goods ever could. Financial freedom through frugality. Living frugally also leads to financial freedom. It's not about living a life of extreme austerity. It's about setting clear boundaries with your finances, choosing to live within your means, and making conscious decisions that align with your long-term goals. By reducing unnecessary expenses and saving for the future, we give ourselves the peace of mind that comes with financial security. When we stop living paycheck to paycheck or trying to keep up with the latest trends, we open the door to more freedom. Freedom to choose how we spend our time, where we invest our energy, and what we truly value. Financial freedom doesn't mean an absence of money. It means having enough to live comfortably, pursue your passions, and contribute to causes you believe in, without being shackled to a cycle of endless spending. It's about using money as a tool to enhance your life, rather than allowing it to control you. A balanced life, time, money, and mental well-being. The beauty of frugal living is that it allows us to take control of not just our finances, but also our time and mental well-being. With fewer distractions and less clutter, we are able to focus more on the present moment. We can practice mindfulness, cultivate gratitude, and find joy in the simplicity of life. There's a certain peace that comes with knowing you've chosen a path that aligns with your values, where each decision you make is purposeful and aligned with your vision for a fulfilling life. By embracing frugality, we allow ourselves more time for self-care, for nurturing relationships, and for doing what brings us true joy. The less time we spend worrying about money and possessions, the more mental energy we have to focus on what truly matters. Redefining wealth. True richness lies in intention. A richer life doesn't always mean a life full of extravagant vacations, luxury items, or high-end possessions. True richness is found in the small, intentional choices we make every day. The psychology of frugal living teaches us that wealth is not just about money. It's about living in alignment with our values, prioritizing what truly matters, and creating a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. Wealth isn't about the accumulation of things. It's about a life well lived, with purpose and intention. It's the richness of time spent with loved ones, the fulfillment of pursuing personal goals, and the peace that comes from living in alignment with what is most important to us. Living a life rich in meaning. So, take a moment to reflect on this. What would it feel like to live a life that is not just richer in possessions, but richer in meaning? To have a life where your time, energy, and money are spent on what you value most. Imagine the freedom, the peace, and the satisfaction that comes from making conscious, intentional choices every day. Frugality doesn't just lead to financial wealth. It leads to a wealth of experiences, personal growth, and deep fulfillment. By focusing on what truly matters, we can build a life that is richer than anything money can buy. Conclusion. Embrace frugality for true wealth. Embrace frugality, not as a burden, but as a path to living a life of true wealth. One that is richer in experiences, relationships, and personal fulfillment. Live with intention and live richer. By understanding the true value of our resources and making mindful, intentional choices, we open the door to a life filled with purpose, meaning, and a richness that transcends material wealth.